Hello students, welcome to this class. In today's video I will be talking to you about how to make a verb agree with its subject when you have a subject complement. As you may already know, a subject complement comes after a linking verb. And I have a fact here written for you that says that a verb must always agree with its subject even when it disagrees with the complement or with its complement. I have two examples here written on the board so that you can see clearly what I'm talking about. The first one says, the worst part of marriage is jealousy and commitment. Okay, that is just an example. As you can see, our subject is part. The worst part of marriage. Okay, why can't marriage be the subject? Because it is in a prepositional phrase. And you know that you cannot find verb subjects in prepositional phrases, right? So this is not our subject. The subject is part. The worst part of marriage is jealousy and commitment. As you can see, the verb agrees with its subject, part. And the subject complement is plural. We are talking about two things, jealousy and commitment. It sounds a little awkward because we say the worst part of marriage is jealousy and commitment, and it would look better if we said are, but we cannot because it must agree with its subject. So what we can do to avoid an odd or awkward sentence, we could just add an S here. The worst parts of marriage are, so then we can take this one off, are, and make this agree with the subject. And that way it doesn't look awkward, it doesn't look weird. Even though it was grammatically correct, we know that it looked a little bit odd. The next one says, the cause for her madness was his friends. Okay, we have our subject here. The cause for her madness was his friends. The subject complement. We can see that this verb here, the verb being past, the singular form of the verb being past was, is agrees with the subject, cause. But we are talking about a plural complement, his friends. So it looks a little bit odd, even though it is grammatically correct. So we can avoid this awkward looking, or this awkward look, if we add an S at the end of cause. The causes for her madness, and instead of was, we are going to use were. Were his friends. And that is how you avoid an awkward sentence when you use a subject complement and you want the verb to agree with the subject. Because remember that it must always agree with the subject. Next, I will give you some practice sentences and examples so that you can practice with me. Now you are going to help me correct these awkward sentences. The first one says, the best part of the movies was the thrill and excitement I felt. As you can see, the complement is plural. We are talking about two things, thrill and excitement. But the subject here, part, is singular. And the verb agrees perfectly with its subject. The best part of the movies was the thrill and excitement I felt. Well, let's say movie instead of movies. Okay, so how would you correct this awkward sentence? Because as you can see, the verb agrees with the subject, but the complement does not agree with the subject in number. So the best way to correct this would be to add an S here. The best parts of the movie were And now it all makes sense because the verb agrees with the subject and the complement agrees with the subject as well in number. The best parts of the movie were the thrill and excitement I felt. All right? The next one says the reason for her promotion. Reason would be our subject here. For her promotion was, then we have a singular, the singular form of the verb be in past. Effort and enthusiasm. We have a plural complement. We are talking about two things. So as you can see, the verb agrees with our subject in number, but the complement does not agree with the subject in number. So the best way to get rid of this awkward sentence would be, even though it is grammatically correct, would be to add an S here. The reasons for her promotion were her effort and enthusiasm. All right, so remember to avoid awkward sentences and make the verb agree with the subject and number, but also avoid to have an odd sentence by making the complement agree with the subject as well. All right, next I will leave you some homework. Remember that you need to practice as much as you can. For homework, you are going to write 4 sentences using subject complements. Remember to avoid awkward or odd sentences. Try to make the verb agree with its subject, but also try to make the complement agree with the subject and the verb. All right? Well, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it was of help, and I will see you in the next video. Would you like to watch my next video? Click on the television to the right. I'll be talking to you about adverbs and adjectives, modifiers. All right? I have a note here written down for you.